You know, at this point, I can't even remember what Bob Dylan actually sounds like. I can only remember us.
I think he probably has the same crisis of conscience. He wakes up and he's like, "What do I even sound like anymore?"
I know. Who am I? I missed you, Bobs.
Yeah, guys, I was fucking stoked when I woke up this morning. I remembered we were potting.
I know.
Potting / bobbing.
Potting and bobbing. Potting and bobbing.
What have you guys been up to?
Reading tweets from Eric Choi.
What did he say?
The Choi of sex.
Actually, he just said, and he spelled it out in all caps, finally, a new Sideways the Pod episode. So much happy.
So much happy.
Well, Eric Choi, you can have so much happy right now.
Right now.
Actually, it's been too fucking long.
You want to tweet the link to... Do you have it there, the link to the live stream?
Oh, yeah.
I can do it.
Oh. Yeah, it might work better if you do it. You know it's going to take me like an hour to figure out how to do this.
Yeah. I'll do it while we talk.
Okay.
So, what have you guys been up to? Byram, how's the new job? Are you head of all studios or whatever now?
Yeah, I just keep adding studios. I keep just acquiring more studios.
Okay, well, first of all, why am I in a fucked up, cold ass, shitty basement in New Jersey if we have like all these studios?
Why am I sitting next to an exposed mattress with potentially a heroin addict on it?
Guys, so last Tuesday when we recorded, I remember telling you guys my boss had just been let go, and I had a bigger job than I was prepared to have. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I went through this, but they asked me to present at the board meeting that afternoon.
Yes. Oh yeah, you had a whiteboard to use for that.
Yeah. So the fucking crazy thing is, one of those board meetings are one of those things that you just like. You never expect yourself to have to participate in. They always just seem like really ominous, and like even other people participating in them tends to stress you out because you're like, oh man, they're preparing for a board meeting. Right. I've never expected myself to be in a situation where I have to present at one, and sure as hell never expected to present at one without any warning. Right. So I go into this board meeting. It's not even in our office. It's downstairs. So we have Ken Lehrer, who invested in the Huffington Post and invests in a ton of great companies with Eric Hippo. We're in the same building as them, and his office is downstairs, and his office is the size of like a small startup's entire office space. He has a Warhol paintings in there. The guy's loaded. So the fucking board meeting is in his office, and I go down there and I literally just start talking, and it was one of those things where I was obviously nervous talking, and I was going through everything, and I didn't realize I had talked about everything in my slides just on the first slide. But again, I wasn't prepared for this, so I had no idea what I was talking about. It was a lot of like buzzwords. It was like synergy and da-da-da and scale and da-da-da. Like, I swear to God, I'm not being humble here. I had no idea what I was doing. At one point, like, my voice cracked, and I honestly thought, like, I can either cry or laugh right now. Like, that's how nervous I was. And I had no idea what I was talking about. And then no one reacted to anything I said. They all just sat there and looked at me. And I was like, I should just leave. There's no reason for me to be here right now. So, yeah, I didn't get any feedback on it, so I don't know how it went. But I'm still here a week later as head of news. So,
I mean, I'm sure on the one hand it's because you gave a great presentation, but on the other hand, I do think you are the only employee at the company, so they can't quite fire you right now.
Honestly, I don't think it even matters whether your presentation was good because you've got so much fucking swag that, like, I mean,
totally.
I walked in there, I was like, swagger on 100,000 trillion, and they're like, that's our budget. I was like, yeah, and I just fucking dropped the mic and walked out.
100,000 trillion.
I dropped the mic because I was like, yo, I'm doing a podcast upstairs.
And you pulled up the big, like, snowball mic and just dropped it on the ground.
Yeah. No, seriously, you know, we talk about this before, and people doing things make me, when I observe people doing things, I always think, like, oh, they're doing it right. And I never, when I'm in the situation where I have to do something, I always second guess myself.
We
and I
should.
just don't. I never realize like people going up there are just fucking faking it as well. I tend to just be too nervous to fake it. It's something that I need to be better at because I'll observe people. I'm like, wow, they're such fucking con artists, such bullshit. And I think because I observe that in people, I expect people to observe that in me. So,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, this sounds really corny, but like you see people in Starbucks, right, typing away at their computers and drinking a cup of coffee, and it looks so good, right? It looks like, damn, they're so efficient right now. They're getting work done. They're enjoying a cup of coffee. If I'm in that same situation, I sit there and I'm like, this coffee's too hot. I don't know what I should be doing on my computer right now. Like, I don't know how to get out of my own head.
I'm just writing and deleting Facebook posts and tweets. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that person must be writing a screenplay or be doing faxes. They look so efficient. Meanwhile, they're fucking like, they don't know how to turn their computer on. They're trying to podcast with their friends.
Yeah.
I literally, or you know, like if I ever try reading in public, I just read the same sentence over and over because I'm so observant of what's happening around me. And I like envy people because I see them like reading and I'm like, wow, they've got their shit together. They know how to maximize their time and all this stuff. And they're probably fucking thinking about something instead of reading.
Yeah, this is, you and I talk about this all the time. We have like really deep-seated imposter syndrome issues.
Yeah.
Where we don't think.
Doesn't everybody? Well, most people though.
Yeah,
no,
but,
it's
like-
more common in women, which is awesome that I have it.
Right, there was that one, so this, I'm going to butcher the story, I actually can't remember it, I should have looked up the details first, but they asked a woman to be the host of the Tonight Show or the Daily Show or something, and she said no, because she said that she wasn't ready, and there was this like whole kerfuffle on social media and in the news, because they were like, oh, men never would have said he wasn't ready, he would have just taken the opportunity. The women all think that they like aren't ready for things. Do you remember
I know.
that?
Yeah, Jessica Williams, the girl with
Yeah.
dreads.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because there were, I guess, in Hot Tub Time Machine 2, they go into the future, and she is the host of the Daily Show.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
there were rumors, because that movie just came out, there were rumors that she would be Jon Stewart's replacement, because she's
Right.
also a correspondent on the show.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would shit my pants too. Like, honestly, there's no better job for me than to be on fucking TV or on radio just talking about random shit.
Right.
If someone said, hey, that's your job right now, I'd be like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't
me
know
too.
how to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm
People
also
ask
one of those people. I'm also one of those people who I don't know what I know, right? So like, it's kind of the only way I know how to describe it is when you're in math class. And Oak, I'm sure you never had this problem because you're a fucking computer scientist.
Inaccurate, but continue.
But you know, like in math class, I would always learn how to solve problems, right? Like I would know the formula to do. Like I would know, like if someone told me use this formula to solve this equation or whatever, I could do it. But if you give me a test and it's just problems and you don't tell me the approach to take to solving it, then I'm useless. Even though I know how to solve it, I just need that like little bit of guidance in the beginning. Does that make sense?
Yes. I mean, so my experience with like math and like basically all technical stuff is I compare myself often to like the short, slow, white slot receiver in the NFL. Like I don't have like the gifts, I'm not particularly like naturally talented at everything. I just get up early in the morning and like I work really hard at it, which makes me like adequate. Like I work really hard to get to like good enough, which actually is pretty far along. You find that a lot of times like you're doing pretty good if you're just like show up every day and you're like doing okay.
Right.
See, I don't work hard is the thing. And Liz and I have talked about this in the past because Liz and I are both the people where
because you're fucking Des Bryant. You're 6'5". And
no, well, what I'm saying is, like Liz and I, are not even trying is better than most people's like best achievement. Like, hear me out on this one. Like I've never really had to bust my ass in anything, like in school or anything, and I always did pretty decent. Like I'm not someone who got straight A's, but I was a solid like B+ student, right? And that was without really ever trying. And then I got to college and I was like, fuck, like this whole not trying thing is not doesn't work here. You know what I mean? Like I think growing up things were easier, and then coming to work, like I always find myself around people who were there like fucking at their computers, like pounding away in Excel and doing that kind of stuff. And I'm more the type of person who's like, yeah, I'm always here early, but I'm always in meetings talking to people. Like, I'm not the type of person who like literally like sits there and fucking drills things and gets things done. And so Liz, maybe I didn't have this conversation with you. I remember talking to someone being like, our average is most people is not most people's, but is a lot of people's best. So we find ourselves in situations where like we give ourselves shit for not being able to do 10x, right? But like we're still at our bare minimum performing this way some people perform when they're fucking giving it their all.
Right.
Which is fucking gods is what we are.
But also it like puts us in this situation where like I all my life have believed that there's certain things that I'm good at and certain things that I'm not good at. Like I've always been like I can't do math or like I can't like work hard or stuff like that. And it just it's like that's a tricky situation to be in because in reality we could be good at all of those things. It's just we always thought that we were really really good at some stuff and like not good at other stuff, but we just didn't want to work to get good at the other stuff.
I've adopted a 2-point approach to basically everything in life.
Nerd.
Point number 1, I'm an idiot. Point number 2, I can do anything in the entire world if I just sit down and figure it out and work hard at it.
Right.
So, like, 1 is that I approach any task with assuming I will have absolutely no aptitude for it whatsoever and will have to start from below the bottom. And 2 is I have confidence that if I really do sit down and focus on it, I can learn how to do it, and I can get to adequate.
Right.
I may never be particularly good at anything, but I can, with hard work, get to adequate.
Yeah. That's how I feel about yoga and, like, yoga teaching and my whole yoga practice. Like, I'm a fucking potato. I'm not, like, one of those people that's, like, born to do yoga. I'm not flexible. I don't have, like... I'm, like, a white girl who just, like, my bones are made for, like, cleaning out a scullery or something. And... But if I can work really, really hard, and if I can, like, just try and figure I can do the basic yoga stuff. I'm never going to be someone who just, like, I just can throw up a handstand. I'm scared to be upside down. I'm scared to fall over. I'm scared to, like, and my hamstrings are really tight. Like, I overextend my shoulders and my hip and shoulder impingements. But, like, if I work really hard, I can get, like, the basic foundations of yoga, and I can definitely teach it. I can tell people.
The ultimate thing is that you will be a far better person than you were when you started.
Right, exactly.
So... the key is that you embark on these journeys, and whether or not you're ever any good at it is beside the point.
Right.
The fact is you're better than you were when you started.
Right.
That's with me with everything. Like with programming, like I feel like I'm always the dumbest guy in the room, but I'm kind of comfortable with that because every time I sit down and struggle with something that's hard, I am better than I was when I started. Like jiu-jitsu, I get fucking worked every class. That's okay. I'm better than I was when I started. Like weightlifting, I've been doing it for years. I still have really long appendages and will never be able to press a lot of weight. That's fine. Right. I'm cool with that, but I'm as close to being the best me that there is as I can be.
Right, so. That day. And then tomorrow you'll start trying to be the best you again.
All you can do is just get up and fucking do push-ups.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm the type of person who, even if I do something well, I don't think that it was done well because I did it. That's the thing. Like I can't sit there and be like if I sit there and bust my ass on something and it gets done, I'm kind of just like I'm sure someone else would have done it better. Or the next time then I start worrying about the next time I have to do it. I'm not one of those people. I guess it's because maybe if I did shit like Tough Mudder or something like that, I'd be like, damn, I did that. That's awesome. I can say I did that. But when it comes to work stuff, I always feel like I'm getting by with the skin on my teeth. I'm always like, squeeze that. Okay, no one noticed that. Like, how long until the next time this happens and something goes wrong? You know what I mean?
But that's good,
right?
I mean that means that you are like challenged in your work.
Yeah, if you're sitting back and thinking you're like killing it, you're not doing the right job. You're just like, especially
I always feel like, holy shit.
Right.
I can't believe they gave me this job. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do now?
There's no way I can possibly do this.
But you do it, and you get in the habit of somehow finding a way to do a good job.
Right.
And people notice, and you move forward. A lot of people fucking shit the bed when they're given tasks that are above their head.
Like, a lot of people do. I work at a restaurant, and people get, like, freaked out about doing, like, taking tables of, like, VIPs, of people who are, like, important people. They refuse to do it because they're so scared that they're going to fuck it up. I'm like, really? all you have to do is bring these people food.
You know, that sort of leads me into a thought I was having earlier in the week, which is, people talk a lot about leadership and what it takes to like be a leader and like how do I become a leader or what do I have to do to have the qualities of a leader. The first thing you have to do is lead yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And like ultimately in life, a lot of times that's like the only thing you have to do is lead yourself, is to be able to like make decisions for yourself about what you're gonna do, like take ownership of the tasks around you, and like be accountable to yourself to get it done.
Right.
And like that's leadership, is like figure out what needs to be done and fucking get it done. Like own the result and think about like what do I need to do to make this come out in the best way that it can come out, and do it. And like don't sit there and wait for someone else to tell you what to do.
Right.
Or have someone else lead you around.
Sorry, you nailed it, because when I had done that that like full day acting class, they told me something that other acting teachers have told me, and I always forget. And they go up there and they're like, "What was your intention before doing that scene?" Right? And I'm always like, I didn't have one. And they're like, "That's the problem. It's obvious you didn't have any intention. You're kind of just like pulling it out." And they're like, "You're doing a fine enough job with it. But if you went up there saying this character is going to do this because," and I was like, "Damn, I make all my decisions I don't make decisions. So I never really have clear intentions. I'm always kind of just like, all right, this is going to be a last minute decision. Even when I'm doing stuff for work, I don't sit there and think, all right, I'm going to do this because of that. I'm just kind of like, ooh, at the end, I like rush to put something on paper and submit it."
Well,
and so I don't have clear intentions with a lot of stuff.
There's
I'm always kind of just like,
that can be partially that can be like just a different approach to like tasks in life. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like for me, like I'm like a kind of anxious person. Like I really have to like I really want to like prepare for things a lot ahead of time, because like I get really upset with myself when I screw things up, and like I almost like can't take it. So like I have to do things like well ahead of time, and I have to like lay everything out, and like I can't leave the possibility. I can't leave it up to me to do it right. Like I have to lay out the path and the plan and everything ahead of time so that I won't have the opportunity to screw it up, because I know that given the opportunity, I'll fuck it up.
Yeah.
And that's like I self-flagellate so hard that like screwing things up, it just fucking upsets me so much that like I can't deal with it. That I have to be super anal about length. And it's not that I do that all the time, but a lot of times I do.
Yeah,
I just show up early for stuff. Like I'm just really fretful.
I'm like trying to become sort of because I freak the fuck out about fucking stuff up too. Like it paralyzes me. It prevents me from doing things. So I'm trying to like go a little bit of a different direction. And maybe this is like bad, or maybe but I'm not afraid of fucking stuff up anymore, or I'm trying to not be afraid of fucking stuff up anymore. And I'm trying to just like throw myself in there and do all the stuff and I'm trying to like talk myself out of those feelings of feeling like a failure when I do fuck stuff up. Because life is fucking stuff up. You have to fuck a lot of stuff up.
That's true. And you have to like decide like what is critical and what is non-critical. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's like one thing I'll always have to work on is like being prepared for things and like doing the homework and like, really laying down the foundations. But like right now I'm just trying to like get myself out there and like throw myself on the ground and
That's true. And there's a difference between the things you do in your life that are like you're just doing something for yourself, or you're learning a new skill, or you're just doing something fun.
Right.
And like just letting that go and be what it is, and like if it's screwed up, whatever.
Right.
But the things that drive me crazy are stuff that like other people are counting on me for.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say that because Liz, you are putting yourself out there and you are doing the work, right? You are hustling and doing shows and stuff like that. But the cool thing is you're really only accountable to yourself. I think the stress comes when you are at a job where you're doing something that you're not super passionate about, and other people around you are, and then you're kind of like, all right, well, I'm just doing this because it's a job. Right. Other people are like excited about like, and we work with people like this where it's like they treat this like it's their fucking life. And for me, it's kind of just like, this pays my bills. So it's hard to be held accountable by people who see things differently. Like you're doing stuff for a career that you are only accountable to yourself, which is awesome, and you're busting your ass for it, you know?
And going back to that, your comments about intention, that actually helps me out a lot when I'm like, staying up late to do comedy and like bailing on plans with my friends, and like it starts to feel really pointless. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? This is so dumb to like go and stay up really late and like tell jokes that like nobody's laughing about. But when I come back to my intention of just like wanting to, for my career, be able to just like stand up and fucking tell the truth, and tell the truth about things that other people are scared to tell the truth about, which I think ultimately makes like everyone feel more comfortable and feel better about themselves, and makes me feel better about myself. That makes me like, I'm like, okay, that's why I'm doing this. That's the point of this whole thing.
Yep.
It matters.
Yeah, it matters. You really do have to establish like why you're doing it. And it's like with yoga, it's like I want to be able to like understand my own body so that I can take care of myself, because I don't trust anybody else to do it. Like doctors, they go to school, they get paid a bunch of million, they don't fucking know what they're talking about. Every single person is completely 100% unique. And the only person who can really know how to take care of themselves is you. Like,
and
you have to take
it will never
for
be, your health will never be anywhere near as important to anyone else as it is to you.
Right. Right.
Exactly. I love the healthcare profession. My wife is a healthcare provider. We have a lot of doctors in our family, and I know doctors care very much about their patients, but ultimately they cannot possibly care anywhere near as much about your health as you do.
Yeah.
And you need to know more about yourself than they do. You can't just assume that somebody else is going to know what's going on with you, because it's a lot of guesswork.
There's no real way for them to find out.
Dude,
it's a lot of guessing, unless they give you a fucking Spinal Tap and you open.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we've learned from having a kid, and like, just all you ever want with a baby is somebody to just tell you what to do. Like, it's so fucking confusing. You don't know what they want. You don't know why they're crying. You don't know why they're doing this. Is this right? Is that right? Is the food right? Do they weigh enough? Are they? It's just, there's so many questions. Nobody knows fucking anything. Like, it's just total guesswork. There's all these books written that are just totally bogus. And, like, you get to learn the fact that, like, nobody knows anything about, like, health and humans, really. Nobody can tell you what to do. There's no manual. There's nobody who has the answers. And, like, it's up to you to use your good judgment and your observations about yourself and the world to, like, make a plan.
Right.
I will say that the only other person who cares about your health more than you is probably your Jewish mother. Jewish mothers are always worried about your health.
Even our
I don't have one. I don't have one, but I just know.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, I just had like 100 pizzas.
Actually, my wife cares more about my health than I do. I don't.
She does.
I stopped keeping track. Like, I'm just not that great about, like, whatever. Like, I just have sort of been like, rub dirt on it.
Meat buddies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
My wife is constantly confronting me with my, like, health choices.
Yeah.
We've been having this fight over whole milk. So Amy insists that whole milk is not good for you because it's too much fat. But I think it is, because I think your body uses what? Okay, so I'm going to say something like super non-scientific that I'm kind of basing off like articles that I've read but can't think of specifically, that like your body uses fat to like more efficiently metabolize protein.
That is, I think that I have that same isn't
that what the Atkins diet is based in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And it's like, that's the concept behind the bulletproof coffee that we talked about last week, is that it's like you're supposed to put like butter in it, which like acts as a vehicle for like the caffeine.
Yeah, this all sounds totally bogus.
And helps you. It is. I mean, it is. But I have actually read a lot of different things that would say that like kind of a full-fat diet is a lot better for you than a lot of people would believe. But, I mean, Amy's a fucking nurse, so I don't really know.
Well, right, but, scientists and healthcare professionals go by what the studies are, and, what this, like, scientific consensus is. Right. And the concern with like, full-fat milk is cholesterol.
Right.
Are you going to have high cholesterol, and is that going to lead to, like, high blood pressure and, like, heart problems?
Right, exactly.
I just
That's what Amy's worried
I do not like milk. I never have.
Fucking love milk. I drink it with dinner.
Really?
Yep.
You are so white.
And
Dude, I'm so white. Dude, you don't
So
understand. I'm the whitest dude you know.
That is
Like,
fact,
that's
because
absolutely
that's something you
true.
only see on like the Wonder Years. Hey,
Right.
let's have a glass of milk with dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oak is the whitest dude I know besides Jen Savage.
She is a very white dude. Actually,
She's such a
Jen
white
is
dude.
kind of an Asian dude too.
Yeah, she could be an Asian dude. She does love her
Yeah.
college basketball, though.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but she kind of like carries herself like an Asian dude.
Yeah.
She's like
I mean,
very-
she is partially Japanese. She was born there.
Yeah.
Saya. So, I had one of those weeks this week where wasn't on the schedule at work a lot, so I went and I actually did 4 open mics this past week, which I was kind of proud of myself about. Yeah. And I was just fucking eating shit. I was telling you guys this. I went on Sunday, ate shit, went on Monday, ate shit, went on Tuesday night, ate total fucking shit. And I was like, what am I doing? This is like, what a fucking waste of time. This is embarrassing. I'm just going to be the comic that always goes and does open mics and does a terrible job and everyone cringes when she's on stage. And so I worked on Wednesday and then didn't work on Thursday, and so I went to another open mic on Thursday. And it's this really cool open mic where the idea is that you're supposed to just show up totally unprepared or do material that you've never done anywhere else before, or do like crowd work, have people like solicit questions from the audience, like blah blah blah. So I told jokes about Oak and I drying out chicken bones on the heater when we were growing up, because somebody else was telling stories
Good
about
times.
childhood stuff. And then I also, of course, did my famous HPV jokes, and the host loved my HPV jokes, invited me to be in a show this coming Saturday.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's like, I'm really excited about it because it's an art show / comedy show, which is at a tattoo parlor, and the material, they've requested that the material be like darker in subject matter than what you would normally do, which is like it's like I'm allowed to take the fucking covering off and say like anything I want, which I'm
That's your
really
wheelhouse, dude.
Yeah,
That's fucking
exactly,
incredible.
exactly. I'm gonna talk about eating babies and HPV.
Wait, what is your HPV joke? Have you told it on the podcast before?
I don't think so. I have one about how I have all my deep-seated abandonment complexes, and my doctor told me that I had HPV, and but she was like, "Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal because HPV naturally your body cycles it out, and so within a year it would have left you." And then I get all upset and offended, and I'm like, "Why HPV wants to leave me? Did it tell you that? Did it say anything else about me?" And then the other one is about how I don't understand how I got HPV because I never have sex with anyone. So I go into this whole thing about immaculately conceived HPV, and then how horrifying, gross HPV jokes that mom would be really scandalized by. But so there's a lot. This guy who invited me to be on the show is definitely one of the Boston comedians who's friends with everyone, and I continue to feel like such an outcast in the Boston comedy scene because I don't I go to the shows and I just watch the comedy. I don't sit in the back and talk, or I don't comment on everybody's Facebook things. It's I'm just not a social networker in the scene, and so there's this whole Facebook group chat about the show, and everyone's cracking jokes and making inside jokes about one another, and I'm like, fuck, I have to contribute to this somehow, or nobody's ever gonna invite me to be on the show again. I'm a comedian, I should be funny, I should be able to be funny in this group. And I ended up I got home last night it was 12:30. I was exhausted. Everyone had been on the thread making all these funny jokes, and I threw up this joke about the host. It ended up being seeming kind of offensive, and I didn't sleep about it for the entire night. Talk about imposter syndrome. It's I now think that I can't be funny with people, which is the only thing I literally can do in my life is
Wait,
Well, no,
so
I
I
think-
feel
I
like
think
there's a joke in there that's the most meta.
Yes,
stand-up
exactly.
comedy
That's
joke
exactly
ever.
it. Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't sleep, because I was trying to write this meta joke about not being able to make a joke about a bunch of comedians that are making a joke about a comedy show.
That's insane.
No,
I
I think the problem is you forced yourself to participate in something that you naturally weren't inclined to do. So like,
that's exactly it.
Look, no one says that you have to be part of this like group commenting thread. Like, 'cause most of those people are saying shit that's not even funny.
Right.
So the second you force yourself to participate, then you're doing stuff that's not coming out of your, natural state, and you're gonna kind of
totally forced.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think. Look, if that's your style, you don't need to go there and be everyone's best friend.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of cool to be the chick who just shows up, sits there in the audience, everyone's wondering what the fuck she's thinking or what she's about to do. Then she goes up there and fucking kills it. That's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to be one of those people who's like, and I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in like, hey, I'm the novice here. Nobody, just like we said before, nobody there knows what the fuck they're doing. They're probably sitting there and just nervously chatting or whatever. They don't really understand what they need to be doing, and so you should just fucking do what feels right.
Yeah, it's so funny though. It just looks so effortless for everyone else. Everyone's like sitting around like chatting, and it's like I finally like will get up the courage to go and like talk to somebody, and what comes out of my mouth to like it's the most ridiculous shit. I'll be like, I love the Holocaust. I mean, I'm sorry. Did you have a good day today? Fuck. I get it so built up in my head that whatever eventually comes out is so fucking awkward.
Yeah, but you know what? I know it sounds like, that that's not how anybody sees you, right?
I know.
I mean, you really actually know that because like everyone else is like has it even worse than you do because you've had enough life experience to know that everyone around that you think like has their shit together is actually just like fucking barely hanging on and like has no clue what they're doing and is even worse shape than you've ever dreamed of.
Right.
I mean, that's like just always the truth. Like everyone that you think is like totally with it, like you've made all that shit up.
Yeah.
And, like they have no idea what's going on.
I'm considering getting hypnotized to like somehow address my like those like insecurity issues because wouldn't it be so nice to like be able to just like fucking say something and like not worry about it afterwards?
Oh yeah.
Like,
What a sociopath?
Relief. Yeah,
It'd be fucking
exactly.
great. If you could take a pill to be sociopathic.
I'd be in jail immediately, but it would be I just would love to like I don't care. I don't care if I am a sociopath. I don't care if the hypnotism did turn me into a sociopath. At least I wouldn't fucking feel like a shitty fraud all the time. There's like something to be said for like not the like those I would like to get hypnotized. My friend Molly got hypnotized to like stop snacking after dinner and it worked out really well. So I think maybe I can be hypnotized to start feeling a sense of love from my fellow man.
Wait, that really worked? She stopped snacking after dinner?
Stop snacking after dinner. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I agree with you though, because I think that I keep waiting for that moment where I like hit my stride, and I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I thought it would happen when I hit my 30s. I'm like, oh yeah, my 20s were all about like feeling like, fuck, I don't really know what I'm doing, but no one's caught on yet, and I just haven't learned to own it. Even when we do the podcast, like when I listen to them, I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate my own parts. Like I want to kind of like fast forward through my own parts. But other people listening don't think that. You know what I mean? It's just the way you perceive it. So there has to be a point where you're just like, fuck it, I'm just going to keep doing what I don't know when it happens. Probably when we're like 60.
It may never happen.
I don't know if I'll live to 60. This is going to be the sound clip you guys play during my highlight reel after I die.
Exactly. It's like, well, we lost him at 53, so he never made it.
I hope I still have the technical...
You didn't even prepare us for that.
For audio listeners, I just put up my like Google Hangouts lower third with a picture of Lena frowning.
Yeah.
It says snacks.
Hey guys, do you remember when our lower thirds were a thing, like third or fourth podcast? We're like, oh, let's put lower thirds with our Twitter handles and all this shit.
Right, because we thought we were like a TV show and like a radio show, and like we had all these aspirations to be something other than like three yahoos sitting around talking shit.
Right.
Yeah, the second craft services didn't show up, I realized this wasn't a real gig. So I just
totally.
Worse. So it says on my rider that I should have a bowl of yellow M&Ms waiting for me at my workstation before I do the pod every single time. Not a single fucking
Never
time
fucking
has
happened.
the bowl of M&Ms been here.
I know. I called the academy.
Prenup?
The rider to my contract.
I know, but the rider's really your wife leaving that out for you in the basement where you record.
And Amy's like, you can go fuck yourself because your cholesterol's really high. You're not eating those yellow M&Ms.
She's like, are you still doing that stupid podcast?
Yeah, exactly. I know. I
I
keep
don't-
expecting to get scripts from the Academy. I really feel like as a member of the Academy now, they should be sending me scripts, and I should be deciding who is getting the Oscar. What's she doing?
She's sleeping on her side, which is like,
What?
yeah. So this new thing that she like sleeps on her side or on her tummy, and it freaks me out.
Is she still in her sumo suit?
No, she's in a different suit now. She's in like a
Ooh.
sack that
So
like
many
makes her
sleep
look like a manatee.
By the way, Oak, when you sent that picture out yesterday, it was so massive. It wasn't like I had to kind of like scroll all the way to the right to like pan across her face.
Her
I don't know how that
dome is
happened.
pretty big.
It's fucking pretty big. She's got a big dome.
Yeah, she really does. And I love how like her hair is red and her hairline is receding. I think I always say this, but she looks a little bit like Louis C.K.
So I hope, is her hairline receding or is it proceeding?
I would say that it's proceeding. I hope it's not already receding.
Because if
that-
she's like a balding old fat man,
Yeah.
aged like 8 months.
Right.
She does have a little bit of Louis C.K. in her though.
She does have a little bit of Louis C.K. Like that
Except
face.
Except, let's be honest, he doesn't have that much chagrin. She has a lot of chagrin.
She's got a lot of chagrin. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
just
She has
like
such a
constantly
scowl.
looking at us like we're imbeciles.
Right.
She like really doesn't like you guys.
I mean, could you blame her?
No. You guys are dorky.
We're dorky, and she's
Dorky.
annoyed with it. She likes Auntie Liz a lot better.
Yeah, dude, we have a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a really good time.
Liz, when are you coming down for a visit?
That remains to be seen. I'm gonna come on like March, time around March, to come meet up with Amy, and then we're gonna go to Mary Hull's retirement party together.
What?
So I might try and see some New York humans on like March 19th, around then. But then I'll be around like in April and May to like find a place to live. Basically.
It's gonna be
And-
so awesome. We're
It's
gonna
gonna be so awesome.
ahead of studios. Can you get us a goddamn studio so we
Yeah.
can all pod in the same room
Yeah.
once in our lives?
Wait, more importantly, MGH is retiring?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's retiring.
Holy shit, I'm so jealous of her.
They're hanging her number in the rafters.
Yeah, dude. She's been working at the Cape Cod 5 Cent Savings Bank for like 62 years. She's like pretty allowed to retire now. Yeah.
You know,
Proud of
the
her.
thing about retirement is that they don't know how to enjoy it. I witnessed that with my mom. She retired 2 years after she should have. Like, she was just happy to keep going. And then finally she retired because it was like, all right, there's no point in keep going in. But she's just like bored out of her mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have to find something to do.
Does she know about
like,
Netflix?
Yeah.
MGH knows about Netflix.
Yeah. MGH retires every night at 5 o'clock. And then starts working again.
Actually, I think she will. She has a couple of other like sort of non-profity part-timey things that she's looking at. So she's got a lot of
She's gonna
like
single-handedly
ties to the community.
dismantle every nonprofit that she's ever. I'm sure she's going to become so frustrated with the concept of a nonprofit.
Sometimes I wonder if she's related to us because she's like known in the community and it's like
I know.
knows everybody and is,
People
like,
love
involved and stuff.
her. It's so funny. That was like when I went to my fake going away party when I was supposed to move to London, did move to London, and everybody met my mom. I think one person basically said verbatim, "Your mom's so nice, what's wrong with you?"
That sounds right.
But she has such imposter syndrome. She like is the most socially insecure person. She never wants to do it. She never wants to go see anybody. She never wants to hang out. She never wants to talk to anybody. And then all of a sudden you'll see her in these conversations and she just like morphs into like the most social butterfly you'll like ever see, and she's just friends with everyone.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's impressive. Like we were at Anna's funeral and she's just like fucking shooting the shit with Richard Meyer and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to him. I'm nervous." And Mary G. Hall is just like talking to him the entire night. He's
Wait,
like,
who
On
died?
his wedding.
yeah.
Oh my God, Liz! I don't know why I panicked so much. You're like, we're at Anna's funeral. I was like, when did your cousin die?
Did I
And
say
didn't know about
funeral?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. I'm really tired.
Whoa! I got so I met her
I'm
once, but I was like
sorry.
so
Sorry
panicked.
about that.
I was like,
Anna
how
is
did your cousin?
alive and well. Yeah. I just got an invitation to Anna's daughter's 1-year birthday.
Yes, that
Everyone's
yeah.
alive. Yeah.
And doing well.
Yeah, and doing very well, very well. Yeah, I had a really long weekend this weekend. I worked 8 shifts in 4 days. I worked a double
What?
Friday, double Friday, or double Saturday. I worked a triple on Sunday, and then I worked again on Monday. And it would be one thing if it's like I could just like get in my car and like drive to work, but I'm relying on the Boston public transportation system to get to and from work. And they're now on a reduced winter schedule because they can't afford to like run trains anymore. So I have to my shift starts at 10:30. I have to get on a train to get there at 8:30, which means I have to leave my house at 7:30 to get to work at 10:30. So like, and I usually get home at like 1. So I'm like, I know I'm complaining to like a father of a 8-month-old baby, but still, I'm very tired.
Dude, I'm at work.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're looking at, this is my desk.
The,
I I leave the house at once to drive 10 minutes to drop Leah off to daycare.
right.
And that's until you figure out how to get her there by slingshot.
Yeah, trebuchet.
Experimenting with that. She's not super cooperative. She's
Right.
skeptical of the whole notion of being loaded into a slingshot and
Right.
catapulted to daycare.
She flails.
So she wants me to do it with a bag of flour first before
Mhm.
she's willing to get into the slingshot.
Right.
You know, as speaking of alternate means of transportation, do you guys read Distractify.com?
No.
I don't think so.
Great. I would strongly encourage you to check out Distractify. It's just there's a ton of like really great listicles that they publish, and like they're kind of like a more interesting BuzzFeed in my opinion. So there's this one article that I was reading, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's called Shower Thoughts: The Sequel, and it's all about stuff that like we never really think of. And then when someone like puts it down on paper in front of you, you're like, holy shit. Like one of the things on this list is every single day, one human takes the largest poop for that day. And it's
Oh,
like one of those
yeah.
things that you don't really think about, right?
Yeah. Somebody out there.
It's
Today.
probably me.
I mean, it might be. That would be awesome.
So
And
here
then
are
there
some
was-
headlines from Distractify. Quiz. Which body part do you actually think with? What happens when you cover yourself in Mentos and hop in a tub full of Coke?
Yes.
Star Trek fans are spocking their money to honor Leonard Nimoy. Optical illusions that will make you question with your eyes, what am I looking at?
Look, I didn't say they're all great. I said some of them are great.
Wank band will power your phone as you beat it.
I find that hilarious.
25 people who passed out drunk and woke up art.
The headlines aren't great. The content is. This other one, though, says, for most of human history, vehicles had automatic collision avoidance and could even take you home when you were sleeping or drunk. Then we got rid of the horse. It really makes you think.
Wow.
Was this? I feel like a couple years ago you shared an article that was like 5 hairstyles to make you look less like a lesbian or something.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
no, less like you like to like suck dick or something like that. Or you like
Yeah.
take it in the butt.
Yeah.
Not Distractify.
No, that was another. I was actually thinking when I decided that my pick of the week was Distractify. I was like, fuck, what was the name of that other site that I had shared? I'll find that out and we'll tweet it out. Fuck, I forgot what it was. It was good though. I have a horrible memory. Another one on this list though says, I wonder if my dog always follows me into the bathroom when I have to go potty because I always follow him outside when he does, and he just thinks that's how it works.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point. Should we do picks?
I just did mine.
Yes, and
You
since
did.
you brought it up, you should go first.
All right. I have like 4 because we haven't done picks in a really long time. So I'll do 2 actually. Right now, did you guys ever watch the TV show The Bridge? It was about the bridge between California and Mexico.
No.
Well, it was a show. Diane Kruger was in it, and some other guy, and it was really good. It was just about these pair of police officers who like solve these crimes, and it's like about like the disparity of wealth between Mexico and Southern California. But it was based on another show, which was a Swedish or Danish television show, and it's also called The Bridge. But I've been watching the Swedish version of it. And it's like infinitely more like dark and fucked up than the American version of it, and so that is my pick of the week, the Swedish version of The Bridge. It's really, really good. It's about this like this a lady cop who's Swedish, and then the male cop is Danish, and they have to like work together to collaborate on this like all these crimes. And the lady cop is basically like, she like doesn't have any like feelings and doesn't understand how to like be social with people and doesn't understand like things you have to like say sometimes. And she makes me feel a lot better about myself. My other pick of the week is a book called Brain on Fire, and I can't actually remember who wrote it right now, but I'll tweet it out. And it's basically about this woman who gets encephalitis from like some weird viral way. Like they really don't know how she got it. And she basically goes insane for a month. Like her brain is inflamed and it causes her to go crazy for a month. And then she obviously gets better and is able to like write the book. But it made me feel like I had encephalitis, and so I really liked it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I do weird things sometimes. I definitely have encephalitis.
I swear to God, as you were describing that book, I was like, I wonder if I had encephalitis.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly it. It's like, oh, I just wiped my nose in a really weird way. I have encephalitis.
Those are very good. My pick of the week is the movie Citizen 4, which is the documentary about the Edward Snowden revelations on HBO. I want to say won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's really good. I'm actually not done with it yet. I've been sort of watching it and pausing it. I have it on DVR. But it's really interesting to sort of see how the whole revelations unfolded. And it is powerful stuff. So Citizen 4 on HBO. Good stuff.
They did win an Academy Award, and then Edward Snowden's girlfriend walked up on stage with them and just like stood there awkwardly. No one was even sure they were still together, but yeah, she stood up with the team that produced it or wrote it to accept the Oscar.
Nice.
Whoa, I did not know that.
Me either.
My other pick of the week is a New York Mag article that was published last month, I think. Oh no, it was published on March 1st. It is about. I forget things. The title of it is "What It's Like to Need Hardly Any Sleep. I get 3 or 4 hours sleep a night, and I never get tired." And I know people like that, and I can honestly say I am far from being the type of person. Like, I can get 12 hours of sleep and still go back to sleep. I honestly could spend days sleeping. I don't think that I'll ever be fully satisfied. I don't think I've ever woken up and been like, that was enough. So it's weird when I know that people go to bed at 1, they're up at 5, and they completely like function. They just do not. It does not impact them. Like, if I don't get a good enough amount of sleep, then I'm dead. I'm dead. Like, I'm useless.
Yeah. I just act, whenever I'm like really tired, I just act like an infant. I was so tired the other day, and I was reminding myself of Leah, because I was like on the verge of tears, but then like something was funny, so I would like laugh maniacally, and then like I would like somehow like punch myself in the face by mistake, and I would like start crying again. It was like I felt like a baby. I was so tired. I totally understand why she turns into such a psycho when she's tired.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have another pick of the week, and it is a movie called Slam and Salmon, and I watched it when we were in Vermont. And
so good.
It's really quickly become my favorite movie in the entire world, and all I do is this is now how I like interact with people socially. Is I'm like, hey, have you seen the movie Slam and Salmon?
Wait, is that where Ving Rhames is like a boxer who owns a restaurant?
Yeah, and it's not Ving Rhames. That's racist. It's Michael Clark Duncan. Nope. Michael Clark Duncan.
Oh, sorry, MCD. He died.
Yeah, he died.
So here's the thing. My cousin, over the holidays, one of my cousin's colleagues gave her the DVD and said, have you not seen this? This is like an amazing movie. And I was like, it just looked horrible because it just seemed way too campy. So we put it on, and I instantly hated it.
Really?
But then, but the more you watch it, the more you get into it, and after a while, you're like, okay, I have to finish this, and then you start liking it, and it's just like you go through this whole cycle with the film because you're kind of just like, oh, why'd I put this on? This is so fucking corny, and then the fucking the engagement ring, that whole scene. Right. All that stuff. I mean, some of it was corny, but some of it was fucking funny. And then the cameos were like Morgan Fairchild makes a cameo. Random people pop in that movie.
Yeah. Exactly. It's great.
That's so funny.
it's
I
one of the
never
greats.
would have thought other people saw it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people haven't, but I'm telling the good word. I'm spreading
Watch
the word
Slam
about
and Salmon, listeners and viewers, because there will be a lot of
Yeah,
Slam
Yeah.
and Salmon inside jokes.
yeah, absolutely. You lampooning me, meat drapes. That's one of my favorite ones.
It's Meteoropodes.
Why doesn't it sound like that when I say it?
All right, kids. I got to punch out and punch in at the office.
All right, y'all.
Great
All right,
show.
it's been fun.
Yeah.
Let's do this again same time next week.
Same time.
I prefer
Same
the like
Yeah.
5 a.m. Bring the hammer down, but we can do this.
Yeah.
Stupid as days.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Peace.